All right, here's example 2.1 for OpenStax PreCalculus. Here we're essentially translating a linear equation, kind of written symbolically in math, into words, explaining what this thing means here. So in this specific case, I have a function, and the function tells me the pressure as a function of, so the variable is the depth. So picture a diver, the deeper you go, the more pressure there is apparently. And so what I'm asked to do, or we're asked to do, is restate this function in words. And so when you're doing these, what I like to do anyways is start with the y-intercept. So remember in y equals mx plus b, the b is the y-intercept. So the term that doesn't have a variable attached to it is the y-intercept, this 14.696 right here. This is the y-intercept, aka the b in y equals mx plus b. And to explain what this does, it's easiest to think about this would be the output to this function if the input were 0. Because if the input were 0, if d equals 0, this whole thing is 0. So I get 0 plus this, but 0 plus anything is just that anything. This is the output when you put 0 in. That's exactly what the y-intercept means. So what does that mean in terms of this problem? Well, the input is the depth this diver is, and the output is the pressure. So this number right here is the pressure when the depth is 0. And you could use units if you want to be a little bit more careful. This is the pressure in pounds per square inch when the diver's depth is 0 feet below the surface. But I think that pretty much explains this number right here, which really only leaves you with one other number to deal with, the 0.434. So I'll switch colors here. This number, the coefficient on the d here, the slope. And what this tells you, well, what the slope always tells you, is how much the output increases every time the input increases by 1. At least that's one interpretation of the slope. So how much the output, how much the pressure increases by every time the input, the depth, increases by 1. So this tells you that the pressure increases by whatever that number is, in this case 0.434, and I guess I should use units. Pressure increases by this much pounds per square inch every time the diver's depth increases by 1 foot. It's exactly what the slope is. It's how much the output, the y, increases when the x increases by 1. So put into words, this is what it means.